If you hate putting on shoes, then these might be your new favorites. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. These are by Kizik, and they are the shiznit, as far as I can tell. Kizik is a brand that I saw an online advertisement for, and I thought, man, I got to check them out. And the reason is, these shoes look like regular tennis shoes, but apparently they are the easiest ones to put on because they are designed to be stepped into. Now, you might be saying, well, Pete, flip-flops, Crocs, those types of things? Well, let me just show you here. This pair of shoes looks like any shoe. It's got the big back end here, kind of like this guy, and you are just supposed to be able to step into them. And I wanted to see if they work as well as they claim to, because I'm not sponsored by Kizik, paid for these. They're not the cheapest shoes, but they're not super expensive. But I thought the premium that they might charge might be totally worth it because of how easy they are to put on. You might be saying, putting on shoes that hard, you just bend over, open up the heel, lift up the tongue, whatever, step into them, lace them up. But my thought here is that it's just one of those things where it might be a little bit of a life hack. Maybe you don't go outside to get the mail every time you should because the shoes are just a little inconvenient to put on. Maybe you're carrying something, you don't have hands free, and so you don't put on the best shoes. Maybe you put on flip-flops. You know, there have been many times where I have gone out and I put my golf shoes on because they are open and unlaced and I can just step into them and walk outside. So something like this might be the way to go. Now, I do want to show you just a little tour of the overall materials here, and then I want to show you what the trick feature is about these. So we have, it feels like an EVA foam sole here. It seems very rigid. We have some nice tread on the bottom here. It's bright white, man. This is going to get dirty in a hurry around here. But then I got them in this tan color here, cream color. I think they look pretty smart. It's got a little bit of these little perforations here. It kind of looks like a jersey mesh material. Feels pretty nice. It's kind of slick. I wonder how well this will work at repelling dirt and grime. And then we have these tan shoelaces. These look very typical. I'm actually just going to unlace them here for a second, but you can see kind of your standard tongue here, a little loop right there. Inside, we also have a pretty distinct sole. You can see the little perforations up there. Everything feels pretty good. I would say that probably the only thing that sticks out to my eye here is that the heel kind of sticks out a little bit more. Some people might not like that, but usually does give you a lot of stability. Now, the thing about this, and it's going to be a little hard to see, I think the pleather piece around the back here hides the piece that's really important. What you get here is, it kind of almost looks like a 3D printed lattice that goes around the heel, and my understanding is that it allows this to be compressed, but then it acts like a spring and springs the back up again. So I just kind of want to press it down and see what it does. So it does kind of lever it out. You can see if I were just to push this down and we're just to squish down on a regular shoe, it would just kind of squish straight down and then it wouldn't really kind of spring back. And over time you could do that, but then the back gets really worn out. So if I press down on it just like this, I can feel just a ton of resistance. And if I let go of it, it seems to go back up there. And this piece here looks like it is meant to be compressed. So it actually seems like it's actually pivoting kind of right about here. And what I like about that is as it goes down, it seems to open up towards the back here. So we get that on both sides here. There's actually a lot more resistance than I kind of expected. And I would say that inside here, what you might be able to see is we have kind of this vinyl piece. And I think that is kind of housing the structure that's working there. All right, so let's go ahead and put these on and see if they work. All right, so I've got the shoes out here and I have been playing around with these and I want to show you what I've discovered. First of all, I've got both of these shoes tied because ultimately I don't think you actually have to untie them. I mean, I guess that's one of the big points here, but I want to show you how I can step into these. So they are tied and they are pretty tight, but what I have to do kind of is wiggle my toe to the front, and then once I get my heel over the back here, I can just kind of step down and you can see it kind of recovers, but if I just wiggle my heel, it goes all the way back to the top. In this case, I'll just do it a little more real time, step into it, and you can see how much the back totally recovers. It's not crumpled, it's not bent, it doesn't show accordion folds or anything like that. And now my shoes are on, I haven't bent over to untie them or tie them back up. And what I can do here, and what I realize is that the little sticking out of the sole, that little flange there, is really good because I can step on it like this and just step out of the shoes. So it's actually really nice to be able to get the shoes off too. So look at this. I mean, it's just as easy as this to get them on. Like I said, it's not really just stepping and a little bit of heel wiggle, but man, how nice is this? You get shoes that look like every other shoe. They are pretty comfortable. They're very light, so you basically don't feel them. They don't wear you out or anything like that. They are very stable, and yet they are just super easy to put on and take off. I mean, as easy as any slipper, to be honest. I mean, I've had Crocs that you have to kind of wiggle to get past the band, right? And so these are as easy as those. I really like them. They have been comfortable. They look pretty good. I've only been using them for a couple of days now, but man, this just makes it so much easier to run out and put shoes on and take them off. So if you want to pick up Kiziks because you think they might be the shiznit, I will definitely say these won't be my last pair. I'll pick up more of them. So if you want these, I'll put a link to them in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper. We can live better than ever face.